There was a little note which I saw from the last day or so, which was pretty interesting regarding Kirk Cousins, and it was simply a hypothetical question thrown towards the former GM of the Redskins, Scot McCloughan, who all of a sudden is now into social media.
This is
He's
so
just
great.
Fielding questions
Like literally,
from
Scot
Redskins
McCloughan got on
fans.
Twitter and kind of added this account like a week ago.
Twitter.
He's already been verified by Twitter.
Yes.
It's verified.
I
that
still
this
need
is-
to get verified. I have no blue check mark
You-
like Scott McCloughan does.
You've been on Twitter like 8 years.
I know, forever.
He's literally been on a week. It's already been verified that this is the real Scott. And you look, it appears you can ask him anything and he'll answer.
Yeah, and he's answering all these questions. Redskins fans, just to kind of paint the picture beforehand, here are some questions from Redskins fans. Did you stand on the table for Jamison Crowder? He just writes, yep. Right. And what he does is he retweets them so you get the context of what he's been asking. He was asked, if you had to do it over again, did you debate taking Stephon Diggs instead of Jamison Crowder? He says, not at all. But this is the question which I thought was semi-interesting because it doesn't matter. He didn't have the draft choice. It's not happening anyway. But it's hypothetical. But somebody asked, if you had the first pick in the draft and could sign Kirk Cousins or draft a quarterback, what would you do? He said, I'd take a pass rusher. So it depends how you want to interpret that. He's not Kirk Cousins.
On some level, it means he doesn't believe Kirk is for sure. It means he doesn't believe Kirk is worth the number one overall pick, and that's fair. Maybe a lot of people would say that. Drafting a pass rusher over the opportunity to draft a quarterback, does that mean in a vacuum, if you had number one worthy quarterbacks and number one worthy pass rushers, he would always take the pass
no,
rusher?
In this case, he's saying it's either Kirk, draft a quarterback, and he said
threw
neither.
Out. Right, so what is he saying? That if both were worthy of the number one overall pick, he'd lean towards a pass rusher?
Sounds like he values pass rusher more than he does quarterback.
That would put him in the
that
minority.
Particular quarterback.
No, because it says a quarterback.
I know, but he's probably thinking maybe the quarterbacks who are available now because there's no way he bypasses, an Andrew Luck.
Well, that's what I'm asking. It appears he's putting a pass rusher as a priority over a stud quarterback.
Hey, should we be sending him questions every day?
Yes, we should be. You what?
I tried last week.
You asked him. Does he
That's
listen
right.
to the junks?
Yeah,
That's embarrassing.
We got to ask him questions about Vernon Davis.
You don't ask him straight questions.
No, but I think you can ask
straight
him
Redskins questions.
I think that you can. Obviously, those are the ones that he's answering.
You can, but do you really care that much?
Ask him Bruce the Hugger or Larry.
Team Bruce, Team Larry.
Team Bruce or Team Lair? Where are you going, Scott? Are you asking?
What he said earlier in the week, we all found interesting. EB brought it up, was that he said that the Redskins followed his script to a T outside of one pick. And who knows? That could have been a 7th-round pick. So he really liked their draft.
Or free agency. He said free agency in the draft.
Right. And he said that Terrell Pryor was his number one free agent on the board.
Right.
And they got him for a 1-year, $6 million deal.
He's
a prove it to me deal.
He's killing Twitter. He's amazing on Twitter
right now,
giving you great answers.
Right now. I feel like in a year he may really start bringing out the hammer.
As far as on the
I don't know. Like when they have a draft next year, it's not going to be his picks, but he did have his fingerprints on this draft.
Somebody asked him, is Kaepernick good enough to be a starting quarterback in the NFL this year? He said yes, and I agree with him.
Well, I think it's obvious when you see some of the drivel out there. And who are the Jets going to have at quarterback? Either
Josh
Bryce
McCown.
Petty, Josh McCown,
or Christian
Hackenberg.
Right.
I mean, come on.
So if you want to follow Scott on Twitter, it's McCloughan Scott on Twitter, and you got to have to Google for yourself how to spell McCloughan. I mean, it's McCloughan. People pronounce it a variety of different ways, even though he's here for 2 years.
People have trouble pronouncing it.
But a guy last week called him McCloughan?
McCloughan, I believe.
Yeah.
Now, we talked some Redskins earlier. We hit the Skins every day at 7. The big news this weekend was they do lose Trent Murphy. I think they're fine without Trent Murphy. He certainly would have been a nice piece when he came back, but he was going to miss a quarter of the season anyway.
Right.
So he's missing the first 4 games. And your hope is that Junior Gillette, if healthy, I know he missed the first preseason game, and Anderson, the second-round draft choice, that they will actually make their mark, and that Preston Smith has a bounce back. So then you have, with Ryan Kerrigan, Preston Smith, Junior Gillette, and the second-round draft choice from Alabama, you've got 4 guys already at outside linebacker.
Right. This is
Yeah,
actually
but one of them is you're counting on Junior Gillette, who's never stepped foot on the field in a Redskins uniform.
I understand.
In preseason or regular season. That's
right.
asking
but
a lot.
it's a great opportunity.
It is. Can he stay healthy? Can he stay upright? Can he stay there for more than a span of a few games without limping to the sideline? That is the big question with him.
They say he looks great. And, I wasn't buying
I know
into
they've been
that.
saying it for 2 years. He's looked great.